Have you ever found yourself wondering, as the years tick by, what's genuinely happening inside your body? And maybe more importantly, what's science revealing about living not just longer, but actually well as we age?
Mm.
Today, we're taking a deep dive into the very fabric of healthy aging. These fundamental biological processes that scientists have now identified as the hallmarks of aging.
That's right.
Our mission is really to unpack these key mechanisms. We want to get a deeper understanding of how we age, but also, critically, explore the fascinating insights on how we might achieve healthy aging, by tackling these processes directly.
Yeah.
Think of this as your essential guide to the most impactful discoveries in longevity science, but without getting totally bogged down in jargon.
Yeah.
We'll bring you the surprising facts and what they genuinely mean for you.
It's absolutely true. Aging is profoundly complex. It's never just one single thing going wrong.
Right.
But what's truly compelling, I think, is how recent scientific consensus has brought incredible clarity to what precisely goes wrong. At the cellular, the molecular level, these hallmarks, they're widely accepted processes where, yes, deterioration contributes to premature aging. But crucially, and this is the exciting part for healthy aging, their improvement promotes health and extends lifespan.
So there's an upside.
Exactly. That's where the real excitement lies for strategies. By understanding these distinct yet, often interconnected processes, we begin to see actual tangible pathways for intervention, things that could make a significant difference in your health span.
That's a really powerful way to frame it. Okay, so let's unpack this. We should probably start at the most fundamental level, right?
Sure.
The blueprint of life, our DNA and the proteins doing all the cellular work.
Makes sense.
First up, genomic instability. Our DNA is under constant assault. Things like UV radiation, internal stuff like reactive oxygen species. It's estimated our DNA sustains up to 1 million damages every single day.
It's an incredible number.
And while our cells have these remarkably efficient repair mechanisms, they aren't perfect. So some damage gets left behind, accumulating as we age.
Exactly. And that accumulation of DNA damage significantly increases our risk of conditions like cancer, which helps explain why cancer incidence rises so much with age.
Right.
It can also lead to a reduction in crucial cell functions, or even push cells into that state called senescence we might talk about later, which contributes to overall organ decline.
So what's the healthy aging angle here?
Well, the exciting implication is that because young organisms have active, robust repair mechanisms, researchers are intensely focused on strategies to maybe support or even boost these processes. Things like exploring pathways involved in NAD plus metabolism or sirtuin activation. The idea is to find a pathway to directly mitigate this hallmark.
That's really compelling research. And kind of related to genomic integrity is telomere degradation, right? These protective caps on our chromosomes.
Precisely. Think of them like the plastic tips on shoelaces. They protect the ends of our chromosomes. But each time a cell divides, they get a little bit shorter.
So over time.
Over time, with enough cell divisions as we age, they shorten progressively.
And when they get too short.
Well, when they reach a certain critical length, cells often stop dividing. Or worse, they can die, or even trigger inflammation, which accelerates aging and contributes to various age-related diseases.
But isn't there something that can fix them? Telomerase.
Yes, what's intriguing is the enzyme telomerase. It can prevent shortening and even restore length. However, for most cells in our body, its expression is really tightly regulated.
Why is that?
It's largely seen as a defense mechanism against uncontrolled cell division, cancer.
Oh.
So it points to this finely balanced system, maybe a trade-off, and researchers are actively exploring this for its potential in healthy aging. It's definitely not about just switching on telomerase everywhere, but understanding its very nuanced role.
Fascinating. A real careful dance between protection and proliferation. So, okay, beyond the DNA sequence itself, there's this other layer, epigenetic changes. How significant are these in aging?
Oh, immensely significant. Beyond the actual letters of our DNA, these chemical modifications to the DNA and to the proteins packaging it, they form what we call the epigenome.
And that changes.
Unlike our genetic code, which is pretty stable, the epigenome is highly dynamic. It's constantly changing in response to diet, drugs, stress, and crucially, with age.
Okay.
And here's a truly surprising fact. The pattern of DNA methylation Just one type of epigenetic mark at only about 350 specific sites is enough to accurately predict a person's biological age.
Wow, really? Just 350?
Yeah, this epigenetic clock has become an absolutely invaluable tool in aging research. It lets us assess if interventions are actually impacting health and lifespan without waiting decades.
That's huge for research.
It is. Now, while the precise causal role of all these DNA methylation changes in aging is still being worked out, changes in other epigenetic marks like histone modifications have demonstrably affected lifespan in model organisms, yeast, worms, flies.
So there's evidence it matters directly.
Exactly. It strongly suggests a direct causal link where targeted interventions, perhaps dietary or pharmacological, could make a substantial difference for healthy aging.
That tool alone, the clock, feels like a game changer.
Okay.
So if our DNA and its regulation are critical, what happens when the actual machinery DNA build starts to falter? I'm thinking about the loss of proteostasis.
An excellent point. Proteins are the absolute workhorses of our cells. They do almost everything: catalyze reactions, provide structure, manage signals. For cells to work optimally, proteins need to be kept in pristine condition. That's protein homeostasis or proteostasis. We have sophisticated systems for making them, folding them correctly, and getting rid of damaged ones.
Oh, that declines with age.
Yes, with age, this proteostasis declines. That leads to an accumulation of damaged, non-functional, sometimes misfolded proteins.
And that causes problems.
Big problems. These misfolded proteins can clump together, form aggregates. That's a characteristic feature you see in many age-related neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's.
Right, the plaques and tangles.
Yeah. Exactly. So if we connect this to the bigger picture for healthy aging, strategies that improve protein turnover, like activating the proteasome or that crucial recycling process, autophagy have consistently been shown to extend lifespan in model organisms.
So clear targets there.
Very clear, actionable targets for promoting healthy aging and potentially preventing these really debilitating diseases.
That's a really compelling link, especially thinking about Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Are there any early signs people should look out for regarding proteostasis issues before major disease?
That's a great question. The thing is, the early signs are often quite subtle, maybe nonspecific. Things like general fatigue or slightly impaired function. What's maybe more apparent is that various stressors, oxidative damage, metabolic imbalances can challenge proteostasis.
So it's more about prevention.
From a healthy aging perspective, yes. The focus is less on diagnosing proteostasis decline directly in its early stages and more on understanding its universal role in cellular dysfunction. Interventions being explored, like compounds that boost autophagy, aim to broadly enhance these cleanup mechanisms preventatively, regardless of obvious symptoms.
Got it. Okay, so we've covered the integrity of our cellular machinery. Let's shift gears now to how our cells process energy and manage waste. These functions seem deeply tied to aging, too. Let's dive into impaired nutrient perception, diet, and aging. How profound is that link?
Oh, it's profoundly impactful. How much and what we eat directly influences aging. You've probably heard of dietary restriction.
Yeah, cutting calories.
Right, reducing food intake without malnutrition. It consistently extends lifespan and improves health across a huge range of organisms: yeast, worms, flies, mice.
And humans.
We're seeing positive health effects in humans too, yes. Yeah, though it's complex. And while it was once thought to be purely about calorie reduction, newer studies indicate it's often more nuanced.
How so?
It's not just total calories. Reducing certain dietary components, especially specific amino acids from protein, and incorporating periods of fasting, these seem often more critical for the benefits.
Okay. And how does that work biologically?
Well, our cells have these sophisticated nutrient-sensing pathways, like the insulin pathway and the mTOR pathway. They basically link cell growth and metabolism to whether nutrients are available or scarce.
And the healthy aging link.
The exciting part is that inhibiting these pathways, either genetically or with drugs, extends lifespan in various animals. So they are prime targets for developing anti-aging interventions, things that could potentially mimic the benefits of dietary restriction without the constant sacrifice.
That really is the dream, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mimicking benefits without the struggle. Which leads us nicely to mitochondrial dysfunction.
Yeah.
Cellular powerhouses, right? How do they change with age?
Exactly. Mitochondria are crucial for energy production. And a significant finding is that mice with a high mutation rate, specifically in their mitochondrial DNA, their mtDNA, show shorter lifespans and signs of premature aging.
Okay. And they produce free radicals, ROS.
They do. Reactive oxygen species, ROS. For a long time, the theory was that ROS were sort of the main villains in aging, causing widespread damage.
What, that's changing.
The picture is more complex now. Newer research challenges this simple view, suggesting ROS can also act as important signaling molecules inside the cell.
Signaling? How?
Well, in some contexts, even increased levels of ROS might actually be beneficial. They might activate crucial cellular defense and repair mechanisms. It's a bit counterintuitive.
So it's not just about less ROS.
It raises this really important question for healthy aging. Is the key not just minimizing ROS, but carefully balancing them to optimize cellular defense and repair? Interestingly, some animals with specific mutations in mitochondrial complexes actually live longer. It's definitely not as simple as we once thought.
That's fascinating. A real shift in thinking about oxidative stress. And speaking of things that get interesting, let's talk cellular senescence. What exactly are these senescent cells, the zombie cells?
Yeah, that's a good term for them. When cells accumulate significant damage or they're under chronic stress, they can enter this state called senescence.
They stop dividing.
They stop dividing, yes, and they lose their original function. But crucially, they don't just sit there quietly. They start releasing this cocktail of harmful molecules, inflammatory cytokines, growth factors, other stuff.
And that affects nearby cells.
Exactly. These substances negatively affect the surrounding cells, contributing to impaired organ function throughout the body. And these senescent cells, they accumulate during normal aging in both humans and mice.
Okay, so they build up. What can we do?
Well, here's the major recent breakthrough. Removing these senescent cells from aged mice, either genetically or using drugs called senolytics, dramatically improves health and extends lifespan.
Wow, removing them.
Yes. And the most exciting part for you, the listener, is that senolytics are now being rigorously tested in humans for potential benefits against aging-related conditions. The idea of actually clearing out these dysfunctional cells is, frankly, transformative.
It really does sound almost sci-fi, cleaning out bad cells. And sort of complementing that cellular cleanup idea, there's deteriorated autophagy. What's that process?
Autophagy is essentially the body's own cellular recycling system. It's how cells break down and remove unwanted stuff, damaged components, diseased parts, pathogens effectively recycling their bits.
And this slows down with age.
There's strong evidence it's directly involved in aging. Studies show autophagy activity generally decreases with age in humans, and if you genetically inhibit autophagy in model organisms, it actually accelerates aging.
Why? What happens?
Likely due to an increased buildup of toxic proteins, cellular debris, and a reduced ability to clear out pathogens.
So boosting it is good.
Absolutely. What's really fascinating for healthy aging strategies is that stimulating autophagy has consistently been shown to increase lifespan and longevity across various model organisms. It highlights autophagy as this really powerful, targetable mechanism for cellular cleanup, holds significant promise.
Okay, we've covered a lot happening inside individual cells, the real foundational stuff. But our bodies are complex systems, right? More than just a bag of cells.
Definitely.
How do cells and organs communicate, and how does that communication contribute to aging on a bigger scale? This brings us to exhaustion of stem cells.
A critical point. Most of our organs rely on stem cells for repair and renewal because many mature cells lose their ability to divide.
Right.
Stem cells have this unique capacity to divide and differentiate into various specialized cell types. They're vital for maintaining tissue health and function.
But aging affects them.
Unfortunately, yes.
Wow.
Aging negatively affects stem cells in multiple ways. It leads to their depletion and a reduced capacity to repair organ damage.
Is that it?
Well, there's more. New research shows stem cells can also change their differentiation potential with age, meaning they might give rise to a different spectrum of cells in older organisms compared to young ones.
Is that decline reversible?
It was once thought to be irreversible, but recent research is suggesting it is possible to, in quotes, rejuvenate old stem cells.
How?
For instance, there were studies injecting blood plasma from young mice into old mice, and they saw improvements in stem cell function in the older animals.
That's amazing.
It's a profound concept for enabling healthy aging. It points towards potential ways to maybe restore our body's own inherent regenerative capacity.
Restoring our own power. Wow. And building on that idea of systemic interactions, let's talk altered intercellular communication. The conversation between cells and organs changes.
Indeed, cells and organs don't age in isolation. They're constantly talking to each other via hormones, cytokines, metabolic products.
Yeah.
There's striking evidence for this from those classical experiments, parabiosis, remember those?
Where they connect the blood supply of mice.
Exactly, connecting the blood circulation of young and old mice. And in these really remarkable experiments, the old mice were partially rejuvenated. But maybe surprisingly, the young mice showed signs of premature aging.
So something in the blood.
It strongly suggests there are potent circulating factors in the blood that significantly contribute to the aging of the entire organism, not just one tissue.
What does that mean for interventions?
What's promising for healthy aging is that targeted life-prolonging interventions in just one tissue have been shown to delay aging in other tissues, extending lifespan for the whole organism.
Interesting.
It raises this crucial question: what exactly are these circulating factors, and can we harness them or manipulate them somehow to promote healthy aging across the whole body? The potential for systemic rejuvenation is just enormous.
That's a huge shift in perspective, isn't it? Thinking system-wide.
Yeah.
Okay, another crucial aspect that seems like a common thread is chronic inflammation, often called inflammaging. This isn't like when you cut yourself, right?
Precisely. Acute inflammation, like from an injury or infection, that's a healthy protective response. But aging is characterized by this insidious increase in chronic low-level inflammation, inflammaging.
And that's bad.
Yes, this persistent type causes gradual tissue damage over time. It's strongly implicated in the development of a whole host of age-related diseases: obesity, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, even neurodegeneration.
Right, so it's this sort of low hum of damage.
Kind of, yeah. But the encouraging news for healthy aging strategies is that directly targeting these chronic inflammatory pathways, at least in mice, has been shown to rejuvenate tissue function and improve survival.
So that's a target too.
It's a critical area for targeted intervention, moving beyond just treating the diseases of aging to actually addressing one of the potential root causes.
Shifting from that inflammatory state to more balance.
Oh, got it.
And finally, let's talk about a hallmark that maybe seems less obvious but is getting huge attention. Imbalance of the intestinal flora. Dysbiosis. Our gut affects aging.
It absolutely does. And it's a rapidly expanding area of research, really exciting. Our bodies are colonized by trillions of microorganisms, mainly in the gut. That's the microbiome.
And it's important.
Vital for digestion, nutrient absorption, immunity, fighting pathogens, you name it. But its composition is dynamic, and it undergoes significant changes as we age.
How does it change?
Well, young, healthy people typically have a very diverse microbiome, lots of different bacterial species. This diversity tends to decrease with age. The microbiome of older people often becomes less complex, sometimes with an increase in more pathogenic or potentially harmful bacteria.
Okay.
And get this. Extremely long-lived individuals, supercentenarians, they often have microbiomes that look much more like those of younger people.
Wow. So is that just a consequence of aging, or does it cause aging?
That was the big question. But recent research, using killifish actually, provided compelling evidence. They transferred the gut microbiome from young fish to middle-aged fish.
And
it increased their lifespan.
no way.
Yeah, it strongly suggests the gut microbiome plays a causal role in aging, and that offers this highly accessible target for healthy aging strategies, maybe through things like diet, prebiotics, probiotics, maybe even fecal transplants down the line.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So accessible.
Yeah.
Okay, so what does this all mean for us? We've journeyed through this really intricate landscape, the 12 hallmarks of aging, from tiny molecular damages right up to broad systemic communication. It's clear aging isn't just a simple decline, is it? It's a complex, interconnected interplay of all these processes.
Generally not simple.
But the remarkable thing, as we've talked about, is that for many of these hallmarks, scientists are already identifying and even testing some incredibly promising ways to intervene, to promote health.
That's the hopeful part.
It's not just about adding years to life, but really about dramatically increasing your health span, that period of life spent in good health, with vitality.
Indeed. And if you think about it, if our biology is constantly responding and adapting to all these complex internal and external factors,
Right.
well, what new frontiers might emerge as we learn to speak its language more effectively?
Right.
Could we one day actively rewire our systems based on these profound insights? Not just mitigate the effects of aging, but maybe truly rejuvenate and extend a vibrant, high-quality life. Something to mull over until our next deep dive.